Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel, and this is a Nike KD13. So the KD13 is going for 150 bucks, which pretty good price I would say, comparing it to like the LeBrons or like an older like veteran shoe, which usually is like 180, 170, 200 bucks even, right? And you're getting pretty good tech. They're using a full-length zoom strobe unit and all that. So if you guys do want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box, but let's get it started off with the traction. So just a disclaimer, I have not played in these in an indoor court. I've only been playing outdoors. I've been playing on an outdoor court, like at a park. There's only half courts available. There's no full court yet. They closed up the other half. So I've just been playing pretty lightly and shooting around, doing drills and stuff, so I don't lose my handles or anything. So just take this review with a grain of salt a little bit. The only thing I couldn't really test is obviously traction, because I'm on an outdoor court. Everything else is pretty much the same, like support, cushion, and all that. So once I'm able to play on an indoor court, I'll give you guys an update, but it doesn't seem like I'm going to be playing on an indoor court for quite some time. So I just want to get this review done. So starting off with the traction, I mean, durability seems pretty good. Like the rubber is pretty hard. The only place that the rubber is very soft is like this pod that kind of outlines the zoom unit, and that part is pretty damn soft, but it's like kind of recessed into the shoe, you know, so it's not really as exposed. Now that I look at it pretty close, the rubber is kind of ripping off here, just like where the circles are. It's not like very significant, but I feel like constant outdoor use will like rip this rubber off, so just be careful on that. I mean, just the occasional outdoor use should be fine, but durability just like solely on outdoor courts probably isn't the best. I will tell you one thing though, like playing it or trying it out on my wood floors, it has an insane bite. Obviously the finish is a little bit different than an actual like indoor basketball court, so take that with a grain of salt, but the traction seems really good. Because like, you know, I tried it with the KD12 as well, and the KD12 just doesn't bite as good. So traction seems really good. Outdoor court, it was pretty good. But like most shoes are really good on outdoor courts as far as traction goes. And durability seems pretty good. As far as the heel to toe transition goes, I thought it was going to be pretty bad because of all of this rubber, especially in the heel, but it's not that bad, you know. It has a pretty nice curved shape here in the heel, like right here. You know, it's not like 100% like square. You have a nice flex in the forefoot as well as a nice curve shape here in the forefoot. So heel to toe transition actually isn't that bad. It just feels a little clunky in the heel. That's about it. So it's definitely like not boot-like or anything like I thought it was gonna be. So when you're running down the court, it's not like a slapper, you know? And also another thing I kind of liked about the traction is this curve shape. So it was a little bit more prominent in the KD12, but you can still feel it a little bit in the KD13. And the designer of the KD13 is Leo Chang, and he designed the Kyrie 2s, which pioneered the outsole curvature, right? So he kept the outsole curvature here a little bit, you know. It's not like some shoes are pretty squared off. This isn't as squared off. It has a nice rounded shape, and you have a little bit of rubber coming up here, so you have a little bit more grip when you're doing this type of movement. So that's pretty nice. As far as the cushioning goes, it's pretty damn nice. It's full-length zoom strobe. What more can you ask for, right? So impact protection is pretty damn good. I would say court feel is okay. You know, it's definitely not the best that I felt. The best that I felt is like the Jordan 31 or like the Hardens, like Harden Volume 1, Harden Volume 3. It's definitely not as good as those, like as low to the ground, but it's not horrible, you know, comparing it to like the LeBron 16. I would say it's like around the middle. So court feel is pretty good. Obviously, I feel like the zoom strobe kind of like puts you up a little bit more. Impact protection is good. You feel bounce everywhere, you know, in the heel, in the forefoot. It feels great. There is a bottom loaded, you know, double stack forefoot zoom unit, which I couldn't really feel any type of extra bounce from. And I'm not saying it's not bouncy at all, but it didn't really feel any different from like the Zoom Universe or the KD12. But one thing I do wish was a little bit different was the insole. The insole is basically like, it feels like plastic or like styrofoam. It's not very nice. There's no like foam or memory foam like in most ortholite insoles. So it makes it kind of just a little bit hard to feel the Zoom strobe, you know, comparing it to like the other shoes. All right, moving on to the materials. So throughout this entire upper, they're using like this textile material, and it's not that bad. As far as like quality goes, it's not good. You definitely feel like it being a little cheap, but like on foot, you know, it's a very thin material, so it conforms to your foot very well, and it's not stiff or anything. There's no pinching, and then when you break it in, it gets pretty soft. So materials like just on foot and for performance, it's actually pretty nice. It's just like the quality I don't think a lot of people will like. And then of course around the perimeter of the shoe you have some like suede material in this colorway, and then for the wings you have like this synthetic material. But one thing that I kind of like about the shoe is the tongue. You have this like rubberized foam, so it kind of keeps the tongue pretty well padded. It feels pretty nice. And then here in the ankle area there's a good amount of padding, which feels nice. It's not too much, it doesn't feel like too bulky or anything. It's just the right amount for me. And so the materials, although the quality is not that nice, it performs well and gets the job done. Alright, as far as the fit goes, I went true to size and fits me just like any other KD, right? So KDs run very narrow and there's not a lot of toe space, so just watch out for that. Like the materials stretch out just a little bit. I mean, it doesn't stretch out as much as like a Flyknit or a knit would, or even a mesh, but it does stretch out a little bit. So if you feel that the fit is a little bit too tight or a little bit too snug for you, just give it a little bit of time and it'll probably stretch out a little bit more. But for me, it's perfect. I like to have a really snug fit. My toe is pretty much right at the edge, and width-wise, it's pretty snug. So if you have a wide foot, just watch out. I feel like most KD shoes are not good for wide footers, but if you really want to try it out, probably go up or maybe even like a full size, right? But for me, it was a perfect fit. Alright, as far as the weight goes, I mean, it feels pretty damn light. It's just like this rubber part, I feel like adds a little bit of weight. 12.13 for the right and 12.10 for the left. I would say that's around average, a little bit lighter than average. I feel like they could have shed off a little bit more weight. I like how minimal the upper feels though. Like the upper is just super thin, especially in the toe area. But like all this like foam here, I guess this foam is necessary right here, but like all this rubber here, I feel like adds a little bit of weight. So if they like shed this off, that could probably shed off like an ounce, maybe half an ounce maybe. It's still light though, you feel very quick, and it's a very responsive shoe. Alright, as far as support and lockdown goes, I had no issues with support and lockdown. Like for lateral containment, you have this like foam coming up, especially here in the heel. There is an internal TPU heel counter, probably like just right here, but then the foam is doing most of the work for the heel. And as far as the forefoot goes, you have this swoosh and the foam comes up a little bit, probably just a little bit over, so that you have a little bit more of a sidewall for lateral movements. As far as lateral stability goes, I had no issues. It's a flat base here. It's not like super rounded or anything, besides I guess the outsole curvature, which isn't like super prominent comparing it to like Kyrie's. So I felt laterally stable. And I don't really like mid cuts. I always say this. In my opinion, I would just rather keep it a low or a high, right? Like mid cuts don't really offer you as much ankle support as a high, and it's just like kind of annoying. Goes over the ankle bone, and I just want like the freedom of like a low, right? Like the ankle support isn't very good. It just basically feels like a low, but like not, like it's just, I feel like they should have just kept it a low, but that's just me. Alright, as far as the ventilation goes, it was okay. I mean, I would say it's around average. I was playing outside and it was pretty windy and all that, and my foot wasn't like super hot or anything, but it didn't feel like super well ventilated, right? So if you blow onto the material, you can't really feel any type of airflow. So I would say it's around average. As far as braking time, there's really no braking time. Obviously I don't really know about the traction, so sorry about that, but the materials, they're pretty much good to go right out of the box. Like there's no pinching like I said, and it just gets softer once you keep breaking it in. And the cushion you can feel right away. So braking time is pretty much non-existent. And as far as the aesthetics go, this shoe is like grew on me a lot, especially with the Nike ID options and like some of the colorways that are coming out. This is a great looking shoe. I just really don't like this colorway, and I feel like it's one of those ball shoes where you can also rock off court, which I like. It reminds me of like the off-white blazer. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, I love this shoe. This shoe is incredible. One thing I would like to improve is maybe the material quality. Just make it a little bit nicer, Why can't you use like CP 3.12 Flyknit? That was $100 shoe. So why can't you just put it here, make it a little bit nicer? But like I said, it's very, very thin and it feels very, very minimal, and it conforms to your foot. So it's not really something that was a huge deal, but I would have liked a little bit of an improvement on. Like I said, the traction seems really good. I really want to try it on the indoor court, but the only place I tried on is my wood floors. The cushion is incredible with the full length zoom strobe. The fit was perfect for me. Of course, another thing I would have changed is maybe make it a low, but that's not a huge deal either. So for $150, this is an incredible performer right now, and I feel like it's top 3, top 5 performers right now for me. So again, if you guys want to cop, I will leave a link in the description box. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.